Thank you. So can BlackBerry make its big comeback with the Z10 the same way Apple famously turned things around with the launch of the iPod? Our editor-at-large, Corey Johnson, has more from the newsroom. Corey?
My next guest knows a thing or two about trying to boost a struggling company. Former chief marketing officer at Kodak and a former judge in The Apprentice, Jeffrey Hayzlett, joins me now. Jeff, when you look at this company, can one product do it?
No, there's absolutely no way that you can make a one-trick pony. It just doesn't work. In fact, I think if that's all you are, you better start looking for the barn, because you need to go put something away for a very long time.
Well, I mean, it worked for Apple, right? The iPod really turned around that company.
But they also had something to follow it up, and I think that's the real key here. What's next, you know? If you're the third dog in a three-dog race, the view up front isn't pretty, and that's what these guys are looking at. It's a bad view, and they really don't have a platform. I mean, I had to call somebody in England to give me the rundown on the phone. I work with thousands and thousands of different developers here in the tech community around the world, and I don't know one of them that's building a BlackBerry app, and that's a problem.
The apps seem to be key. The customer satisfaction surveys from J.D. Power and stuff have consistently ranked the BlackBerry experience as really negative. I mean, back in my days when I used a BlackBerry, and it has been many years because the product hasn't been there for me, that was a beloved device.
Well, it is, and their killer app is email. That's what it is, and it's that keyboard, and that's what keeps people stay there. But it's got to be a lot more than that today. You know that. You know, that phone is the most personal device there is. We know where our phone is more than we know where our children are, and they just haven't kept up with the time, and I just don't know if they've got enough runway to be able to make it.
Part of that's technology, right? Is the rapid change in technology doesn't give them the runway that even a company like Kodak, which also ran out of runway, but had a lot longer runway?
Yeah, but it's really management. It's about leadership. It's really stupid decisions all the way along. I mean, to be able to believe and have that hubris of success, which they had for a long, long time, before the iPhone and now the Samsung and everything else that's coming out that's really, really good. And you've really got a two-platform race between the iPhone and the Apple operating system and that of the Android. And BlackBerry's just not catching up. They made some really bad mistakes along, believing that they were the only ones in the game.
Well, talk to me about specifically what kind of mistakes might have been good for a leader and are really bad for, as you say, the third dog in the three-dog race.
Well, it makes some bold ones. I mean, I think that's what you have to be able to do. And, just a new phone and not having all the things that you need to have. I mean, people, and they've been promising for a long time to their people, their customers, that they're going to have new apps, they're going to have all this new stuff that they're going to have. And they've done some nice things, so I hear from some of the people that use it, but not good enough. And they're even saying, I'm not staying with it.
So from a marketing perspective, I don't want to get too squishy about it, but the company named the product BlackBerry because of what the keyboard looked like when they first had their beeper-like product.
Right.
Now they've named the whole company BlackBerry based on this thing, and yet the new device, the Z10, doesn't have that keyboard.
Yeah.
The Q10 will, but isn't out in the U.S. yet.
Yeah, it's a real problem. I mean, what's the first thing you do when you get to a new company? First you change the CEO, they did that. They changed the CMO, you did that. Change the name. Now what's next? They need to change the platform, change the product mix, be able to find something else that they can innovate. They got to start acting like a fighter. I don't think they're doing that. I still think they're acting like they're the champ. They need to get in shape and find a different way to fight this fight.
What's the thing that you would see tomorrow when they announce results that would suggest either are on the right track or the wrong track?
Well, I've already started to get some hints when I was listening earlier, but I'm looking for numbers, lots of zeros. If you don't have lots of zeros in those numbers, and I heard something maybe 1 million or...
John was suggesting that the analysts are looking for about 1 million sales of the new Z10.
Done. Dead. 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 That's what it means to them. If you don't have lots of numbers, and I'm talking about tens of millions, and lots of zeros behind those numbers,
we're showing something on the screen right now that shows it's the last quarter they sold 6.9 million new smartphones, but that's well off what they were doing 14 million 5 quarters ago.
Yeah, well, when you start to look at that, that's a rounding number for Apple. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's a mistake. I mean, really, if you're looking at a bigger numbers, those guys are selling multitudes of that, and you can't sustain the momentum. You won't be able to do it.
Interesting to see how things happen tomorrow morning. Jeff Hayzlett, really appreciate your time. Thank you. Emily?
Thanks, Corey. Electronic Arts is losing